What's up, everybody? Here with Down with the Roots podcast, we got Coach Sean Overton with Team Fly with us today. I think it's our fourth episode of Down with the Roots. So, Coach is still kind of in special territory with us, but appreciate you coming on. One of the biggest programs in Oregon. They've been long settled up there in the Portland area. And Coach, kind of what we have everyone do to start off is tell the story of Sean Overton, tell the story of Team Fly, kind of everything you can start as far back as you want to, but take us back and tell us a little bit about the program and yourself.
Okay, man. So we originally started in the summertime of 2013, May to be exact. July was our first camps. We originally started with the mindset of training kids. Having teams was not even in the realm for us to reach. We just wanted to train and develop kids and players. And so from that point, we started with 3 teams in that fall of 2013. We're now, fast forward 12 years later, in spring, we have 25 teams this spring for one facility that we have here. We originally started with 6 baskets, 4 extensions on the side. Knock on wood, nobody got hurt. To now, we have a facility with 13 baskets all around here, and a fantastic team that's here grinding every day, full time. As far as Sean Overton goes, man, my history goes further back than a practice facility. Corrective exercise specialist, sports performance specialist, training kids for over 20 plus years since I got out of college. And even when I was in college, my senior year, I was actually training my whole football team, Division I team in Louisiana. And then it's done from there to working with lacrosse teams and just working with golfers, working with soccer players, hockey players. It didn't matter, man. If you were an athlete and you wanted to get to the next level, I found a way to help you get there, and to where I found a home here over the last 11, 12 years.
I got you. Louisiana, huh?
Yep. Spent some time in there, a good 5 years out there. Learned a lot. Was around a lot of athletic players, man, to say the least, from Texas, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, that whole southern region.
I got you. Well, fast forwarding to Oregon, describe like, obviously you've been there for a while. Describe what the culture is there. There's obviously been some good players that have come out of there of late, but really over its course of history, and getting to know that culture, how would you describe it? Is Oregon on the way up right now? Has there been any inspiration from other programs that you guys have kind of taken to build Team Fly? Maybe it's professional, maybe it's amateur, but what are some of the challenges you face being in Oregon and kind of getting to where you've gotten to now?
Okay, I'll go to the first one. I think Oregon basketball, from the girls' side, has always been steady and always been on the climb from the girls' side. On the boys' side, it's been up and down like a roller coaster, I would say. But of the late, we have had some really good players come out of Oregon. And even growing up, they were good players coming out. You just didn't hear about it a lot because Oregon is way up in the Northwest. We're not California. We don't have, all the thousands of AAU teams in California. We have few teams here in Oregon. But I think the boys' side is definitely getting better. I think the training and development that's out there now is a lot better. I think programs like ours challenge other programs to be better, which forces, coaches to be better.
Sure.
I think a lot of the USA basketball stuff, those coaches that want to be better in their craft, they are diving into the USA basketball realm, which is helping become universal, almost like soccer, youth soccer or youth volleyball, which we need some kind of camaraderie, together to help build Oregon. As far as the state of where Oregon is, like I said before, we're not California, we're not Texas, we're not those big states. We do have a handful of good talent. I think one of the challenges that we face is that because there are a lot of teams in Oregon for the small space that we have, there may be one player here, but not a full team of players that say, hey, we're going to represent Oregon and go play. And be recognized that way. So
Right, right.
if you make it out of Oregon, you're definitely a grinder. You're a guy or a gal that puts their head down, 10 toes down always, and going to put the work in because, again, Oregon is not recognized as a leader in the basketball, genre. But when you look at the NBA, there's Oregon sprinkled all through. You look at college basketball, there's Oregon sprinkled all the way through. But again, they still don't put us on a map. Oh, that's kid is from here. Oh, Oregon, you don't hear it a lot in the media. But we definitely have some talent coming out of the area and have been for quite some time, even from the Aaron Miles days and Thomas Gardner and Damon Stoudemire days, AC Green. We've had players come out, but it's been far and few between.
Sure. And you guys are a Jordan sponsored program. You can
Mm-hmm.
see the Jordan stuff on the wall behind you there.
Yep,
And
yep.
obviously, Portland's a big shoe brand city in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
What are some, has there been any programs that you guys kind of look to coming up, or has there been any coaches that you kind of look to? Maybe it's, experience with that shoe brand stuff there in the city that kind
Mm-hmm.
of like helped you build the culture that you have now, or created some segues for you guys along the
Yeah,
way?
absolutely, man. I wouldn't say there's other programs that we have looked to. We've actually taken a different stance. We look to, how Jordan itself built his brand. And so we learn from things of how that corporation is and how they treat their employees and how excellence every day is of the utmost. You have to have it, and then you look at companies like Starbucks, and how to keep, customers comfortable in a facility, so we don't look at other brands itself as far as direct brands of other programs. We look at other companies to drive our inspiration to get into another level. And even looking at our company ourselves, we always dive in and go, okay, well, what can we do better? How do we, other programs may be catching up to us. How do we expand ourselves even further along, and things of that nature. So it's been definitely a learning curve, reading different books like Multipliers and Shoe Dog and, and all those good storylines, really have helped us drive the vehicle of having
Sure.
our own facility, which is a challenge in itself when you have your own facility,
Yeah.
because you can only charge, players so much, they're kids. You
Yeah.
can't charge them out the wahoo. So we done a good job with our model, though.
And you kind of spoke on my next question is, obviously you guys have a facility there, boys and girls program, all ages. You've grown this thing over time. What's been some of the bigger challenges that you guys have faced over the course of time, and just talk about those a little bit.
Besides COVID,
Yeah,
yeah,
everyone was struggling through COVID.
man, COVID was a tough time. That was one of the biggest challenges for us. I think if you go back the first 5 years, I think our challenges was just parents and players understanding who we were.
Hmm.
And I think after we were able to explain to them through our play and through our style and how we treat our players and parents when they come into our gym, then it started to go, okay, well, this is the best thing in town. And I would say, okay, the next 3 years from there was like, okay, we were rolling, right? We had a lot of good talent. I mean, we had a ton of good talent at one point. Did they all stay with us? No, but that's part of the business. Would we like them to stay with us? Absolutely. We want you to stay with us from first grade through, their last senior year, but
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way when players get good and, they get recruited at a younger level. So I think that was one of the challenges is trying to keep those players early. I think the latest challenge for us now is what's going on in the college realm, the NIL stuff, the shoe
hmm,
circuit stuff.
yeah,
JUCO now is a 4 year now, starting in 2026. So I think those challenges are trickling down or domino effect down to us at our youth level, to where we have to be smart about how we explain to kids what to look for and not divest away from the work that you have to put in regardless of what's out there. And so
sure.
now getting parents to buy into how we train, what we do when we train, and again, not allowing kids or players to play for 2 and 3 teams and just to get games, really double down on development. And so I think that's been a big challenge for us because a lot of parents just want games, and they want their kid, a little Johnny or little Anna, to play 8 games over the weekend. And for us, all of us who's played Division I or Division II basketball, or NAI basketball or football or whatever have you, we get that the development is the first piece. And so, it's not difficult for us to explain to them, but it does become a challenge when they have other ideas in mind that their kid is the best kid in 4th grade in the world,
Right.
so, so
Right.
that's a big challenge is being honest with the kids and letting them know this is where you are. We've created, we call the Flyway Roadmap, which we can tell you based on what grade you are of what you should be doing, should be developing. And so getting parents to understand that piece of our Flyway Roadmap makes it a little bit easier for them to know, okay, little Johnny's 8th grade, he's working on transition prep, getting to high school,
Yeah.
as a small piece, or your 1st grade, you're working on fundamentals and fun is capitalized, so stuff like
I
that.
actually saw that on your guys' Instagram.
On the time and
We
hours.
might have to go off topic and so talk about the roadmap because I saw that on your guys' your Instagram.
Yeah, one of the biggest things for us is, we try to look at the USA basketball realm of how many hours of development versus how many hours of games. And
Yeah.
so we're pretty strict on that. We at one point we were playing way too many games, 32 plus games a season, and it ended up being almost like a 1.4 to a 1 ratio. And we would like to have at least 2 to 2.5 hours of training per 1 hour of game. And
Hmm.
I think when we were at that point, yeah, everybody wanted to come play for Fly because we had all these games and we're playing every weekend, and you had your practices, and so we had to shift that model a little bit and go, okay, well, not every player in our program is going to be taught the same,
Hmm.
right? We're not going to teach the 4th grader as we would teach a sophomore. Yeah, they're going to have the fundamentals in play, but with the roadmap itself, we can go back and go, okay, 4th grade, how proficient are you in your jump stop cross steps? How proficient are you in your slow Euro step to a pass to a corner? Just efficiency wise. Whereas now at
Hmm.
the high school level, is that jump stop, are you getting it too deep in the paint on that jump stop? Or is it a short jump stop? Is your cross step turned to a cross step to a fadeaway? So understand that progression first before we went to, okay, now we understand the Flyway roadmap. How does that work? All right, where do we start at the younger age? Okay, fundamentals. Everybody knows we got to have fundamentals, or we call vitamins. You got to have your vitamins every day, right? So 1st through 4th grade, getting those fundamentals down first is very important for us. And then you move into, heavyweight development, which is more of how much training are you actually doing when you get to that 6th and 7th grade level? Are you spending a lot of hours in the gym? Are you watching game film? Are you working your yoga stretches? Are you doing little Pilates? Like, what's your
Yeah.
nutritional like? Like, now you get into the nuts and bolts of, if you truly say you want to be this player and be this teammate, and doing it the right way, 6th and 7th grades when we start that. And
Yep.
eighth grade is transition. How do you transition to high school? And then once you get to high school, now you're talking about exposure and elevated thinking and things of that nature. So it's been pretty cool. As we're bringing it out slowly to our players and parents, we just want to make sure that we don't overload them, because
Hmm.
now when you overload them and you're thinking too much about it, you're not having fun anymore. So,
Right.
but you'll see more from that roadmap pretty soon too.
I thought it was pretty cool. It was different. So,
Excuse me.
uh, what's one thing? Obviously, you've been doing this a long time, and you've seen how the whole landscape itself has developed. What's one thing that you like about grassroots basketball as it is right now, and what's one thing that you feel like needs to change?
I think when you talk about grassroots basketball, you talk about just the understanding of how do I start from nothing, right? And then get to a point where now I can go travel to Auburn and play in these big tournaments and see all these, nice gyms and things of that nature. I think the good part about it is that anybody can get into it. It's like I was watching cartoon with my little daughter the other day, and watching Ratatouille, and it says anybody can cook, right? Gusto said anybody can cook, and I think what grassroots allows a lot of players that may not have the talent to play on a club level, that they can still play in a game and still have fun with it. At the end of the day, we're playing a game. You know,
Yeah.
I think that one of the downsides to it is that because anybody can get into it, now some of these parents that are coaching or some of these coaches that are coaching, they're really demeaning to kids. And that's one thing I wish that would change. We tell our coaches here that our main job is to coach kids through failure.
Yeah.
And coaches fail too though. So who's going to
Yeah.
coach us through failure? And I think when you see some of these coaches out there, some of these tournaments, it becomes a little. I hate to say it, but it gets really bad, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about, so,
Yeah.
but.
I got you.
Mhm.
Um, as a program director that's established yourself as well, what's one thing that you would tell your younger self, that you wish, you would have known that like back then?
What I would tell my younger self as a director now, man, my guys are probably going to laugh when I say this, but stick with what you know.
Hmm.
Don't do anything that you don't believe in, just to make it work, for a player, and understand your job is a teacher, which means that eventually they're going to have another teacher.
Spice to your question. If you had to build your own event, obviously you guys go out and compete on the West Coast locally. Maybe it's some of your friends, maybe it's somebody that you haven't played before. But if you had to build your perfect event, maybe it's the high school grade, who would be some programs that you guys enjoy playing, want to play, want to challenge? Who are some of those guys that you guys are kind of headhunting this year?
Man, we play so many organizations. Honestly, that's a tough question to pinpoint one organization. If I can ask my individual coaches, I'm sure they'll probably say, I want to get this team back or I want to get that team back. But there's a lot of good organizations out here. I mean, Northwest Select from the girls' side is a good organization. From the boys' side, I know OBC, they're doing a pretty good thing over there a little bit. There's some places. So what you got? Oregon Triple for the girls out there. You know, gosh, man, from this area, Seattle Select Academy. They're a good organization. We always like playing Rotary. We've been loving playing Rotary since beginning of time. It's not that many in Oregon. I mean, when we go to like Arizona, we see like Cal Stars and see those kind of teams, and those are teams
Yeah,
that we're looking to play it.
I got you.
Yeah, I think that from the youth level, for us, anybody can get it. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, but we do like when we travel to Arizona and California and see some of those teams that are well coached. I mean, we like playing chess matches. I
Hmm.
want to play against a team that may press, may not press. When you play a team that pressed the whole time at third, fourth grade, we're gonna break the
Different.
press. So yeah, it's something
Yeah.
different. Like I like to coach those matches where it's a 1 point game, 2 point game, and now we got strategy. And is he gonna call a timeout or is she gonna call a timeout? I think those are the games that we thrive on. We don't really have like we want that team, we want them back. For us, we're doing our job of teaching, man.
Yeah, you guys are doing a good job. So a lot of people want to play you instead.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. And we tell our kids like, "Hey, man, it's not your fault, but they're coming to get you." It could be a
Yeah.
Division III team, but it's all fun. At the end of the day, sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, sometimes we get smacked by 40, 50, sometimes we win by 40, 50. But for us, it all comes to territory, man. Did the kids have fun? Did they learn today? And how they feel about coming back the next day? And
Yeah.
those are the things that we really hang our hat on.
Yeah. Last question. Obviously, with the spring and summer approaching, you guys have, probably a new outlook of kids, that people may be aware of, may not be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about some of the kids in your program, probably
Ooh.
more high school specifically, with those kids kind of starting to get recruited a little bit more. That
Mm-hmm.
some maybe that, again, people don't know about, that you want to kind of shine some light on, and then some others that, obviously that maybe have some more notoriety, but you want to give them a little bit more publicity.
Man, I think from the boys' side, I think a lot of people know this guy, but Jemai Lake's been tearing it up, at Walton. And as a junior, following his older brother's footsteps, who's at now at Oregon State, two-time back-to-back champion, walked on at Oregon State, now earned his scholarship. And she got 35 minutes against San Francisco the other night, as a starting point guard. I think his younger brother, Jemai Lake, is somebody that definitely is going to stand up coming to a senior year next year and even in the playoffs right now. I think from the girls' side, Maddie Eishen, very underlooked player. She committed to OIT already, but Maddie's like what 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 4.2 student, already taking college courses. Players like that is a player that we strive to help out. And then you got some younger guys like a Palumi Ajay, sophomore at Glencoe. Defensive sound, almost remind me of a out of control Russell Westbrook at times, but I think he's going to be one to watch coming up pretty soon. And then like for our younger players, I mean, I can go down a list of names of some 7th, 8th graders right now. That's like, watch out for them, but I want to be careful so they don't get recruited from us. But now we have a good amount of players that we feel, D3, D2 level type players right now, some NAI guys. But, again, for us, if you make it to the next level, we done our job and you're winning.
Yeah.
But Maddie Eishen and Jemai Lake are two that stand out for me right now, for sure.
What about you talked about some of those younger kids? They do need to do anything better right now because I'm sure they may watch this. So do any of them need to work on their defense, or can they take coach one-on-one or anything like that?
Man, they always try to take the oldest coach in the building one-on-one. And I'll wear my Air Force One, so I have an excuse. But I think for our younger players, man, we just want to keep them humble.
Yeah.
As they get good in the game, and other teams come at them and offer them this, that, and the third. We just want them to be humble and stay working on their craft, stay focusing on what got them there. And as long as they can do that, they're going to be fine in the future of the game of basketball.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Well, hey, Coach, appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you having me, Jake.
Yeah, some great insight into what you guys are doing up there in Oregon, and we'll till next time. We'll probably see you guys out on the circuit this spring and summer, and appreciate everything you're doing up there.
Man, thank you, man. Keep up the good work as well, brother.
Okay.